forward to seeing these optics. It seems to be designed for much longer wearing sessions. The headset itself is about 200 grams heavier, and this has got to be in no small part thanks to
MetaQuest 2 Plus, MetaQuest 2 Pro, MetaQuest Mid, MetaQuest Soy, MetaQuest Pro. This headset is very confused. Meta is very confused. Don't mind the fit. Just returning from a date with my editor's mother.
I am currently hitting the griddy for Ukraine.
Is the Quest Pro better than the Quest 2? I've been using the Quest Pro for a couple of weeks now, and it's actually almost entirely replaced by Quest 2 for personal VR use. I actually kind of love this thing. I also kind of despise this thing with all my heart and soul. This headset isn't the end of the world, and it's not the end of Meta, although it definitely looks that way from an outsider's perspective. Is this headset for you if you want a solid upgrade over the Quest 2? Is it worth $1,500? Does it come with a 3 subscription to Zuck's OnlyFans? Speaking of rapidly declining businesses, I'm trying to hit 1 million fellow chimp brain gamers by the end of the year, and as you can see, this has been an astounding success so far. So if you're a chimp and you have a brain, please hit that subscribe button, please. What I'm about to say in this video is reflective of my current feelings regarding this headset. This may change with future updates and improvements, as the Quest 2 is a far more capable device than what it was back at its launch back in 2020, and the same is likely to be said with the Quest Pro in a year's time. But as of right now, the Quest Pro is hurting my head. First, it's important to establish that the Quest Pro seems to have some serious variations between users. For those of you unaware, the Quest 2, at least from my understanding, has 2 different display manufacturers, one being Sharp and one being JDI. This means that without your knowledge, you may have a slightly different Quest 2 display than someone else. Why am I telling you this? Well, the Quest Pro also seems to have some variation between displays on different pros. However, one looking pretty unimpressive and flat, and one that actually looks pretty damn good and has some great depth perception. I'm pretty confident that I got the Pro with the better display. Depth perception is amazing, the colors are vivid, the color accuracy is generally very good, the black levels are great, the display is clear, though still suffers with some noticeable pixels. So there's a lot of conflict online surrounding this headset's visual performance, and a lot of it seems to come down to what display that user has received. Because of this reason alone, I wouldn't buy this headset unless you can buy multiple, test them all out, figure out which one has the best display, then throw the ones with the dummy display all the way back to China. With that out of the way, I must engage in a ranteth. Meta have been adamant that this is a workflow-centered device. We all know that by now, right? Intended to be used in an enterprise setting for meetings, demos, and mixed reality work. This, at least for the most part, is complete bullshit, at least for now.
This is my first experience trying the upgraded cameras and the mixed reality. I'm so f***ing disappointed. I cannot believe Meta, without f***ing smiling, genuinely marketed this as a work-focused mixed reality headset.
The Quest Pro is a stepping stone device, a stepping stone to the now fully leaked Quest 3, and a stepping stone to a virtual work environment future. It's important to make clear that this is essentially a Meta Quest 3 dev kit and not a true pro-level device. However, Meta, perhaps due to their current financial position, current mainstream skepticism, and rampant criticism, have been, to put it lightly, disingenuous with their presentation of this device's capabilities. It's not unusual for VR manufacturers to partake in some cinematic liberty when showing off their device, but Meta seriously oversold the Pro's capability. Working in mixed reality, inviting others to mixed reality house parties, having multiple screens, all of which is possible with pass-through that looks like the Quest 2's black and white pass-through if a toddler had colored it in with a broken fucking crayon. This is the reaction that the mixed reality capability got from 2 of my friends who have very little past VR experience. Bear in mind that this is the exact sort of user base that this headset is being presented to. Users in the enterprise market who likely don't have a whole lot of experience with VR, or at least mixed reality to begin with.
What?
This is f***ing dog shit. It's worse than like VHS. I mean, I am just first time using it, but quality's terrible. You paid what, $1,500 for this?
Oh boy. My god, I see what you mean now.
They're marketing this for work use.
Work? My
Yeah.
God. This is terrible, yeah. It's like black and white, but it's also trying to colour it. It's hurt my eyes.
Would you want to spend a work day in this?
No?
Why not, bro? This is a feature of work, bro.
Get rid of it, mate.
Now, all of this wouldn't be so much of an issue if Meta had at least somewhat presented the headset's mixed reality capability in a more realistic light, but instead opted for perfectly shot, perfect pass-through CG clips and videos all the way up to this headset's launch. The mixed reality on this thing just isn't good. It's definitely an improvement over the Quest 2's pass-through, don't get me wrong, but the coloring is off, the depth perception is better, but it causes some serious eye strain, and it still suffers with a fair bit of latency as well. I'll be straight up and say that if you are a business actually intending on using the Quest Pro for workflow, your employees are going to need much better eye health insurance. It seems relatively clear now that long periods of eye strain and blue light exposure can cause some legitimately serious long-term eye complications, yet alone working in mixed reality with awkward latency and wonky depth perception. No one as of right now, at least until we have a proper solution to the eye strain and depth perception issues associated with VR, should be using this device for workflow unless you're on a retina deterioration speedrun. It's just not realistic. I and everyone else I had test this headset had eye strain after just mere minutes of use. The color, the latency, the off depth perception all add up for a serious headache, not to mention the migraine inducing head strap that I'll get into in a minute, bro. When I say all of this, I'm not against the potential that this has for the future. It's 100% there. It's just not there yet. And this is almost universally the consensus for most other VR users reviewing this device right now. But the non-mixed reality visuals, the actual headset's display, the color accuracy, the depth perception, it's all pretty fucking awesome. And I'll get onto that in a moment, but first onto my biggest pro and biggest con of this headset. The Quest Pro, like me, looks like the CEO of VR sex. It's sleek, feels complete, it feels like a premium product, it feels like a finished product. The controllers are by far the best VR controllers ever conceived, at least to my chimp-shaped hands. The charging station, the adjustability, the baseball cap style design that harkens back to the GOAT himself, the CV1. Everything feels good and looks good until you actually use it for more than 5 minutes. That part doesn't relate to me. I fucked this analogy up. It's astonishing to me that Meta could market this thing in an enterprise setting promoting long-term work use with a straight face. You don't want this thing on your head longer than a few minutes. Not to call anyone out, but I think the vast majority of the content creators saying that this thing is super comfortable either have an absolutely shaped head or just aren't using it for long enough periods to really feel the weight and pressure that this one pressure point has on your forehead. At least in its current stock out-of-the-box form, it's not comfortable for long periods of time. It's super easy to pass around with others, and it's super easy to clean, and will definitely work amazing as a demo device in a public setting, but for any long period of time, having this thing on your head will give you a colossal f***ing headache. I cannot seriously believe that anyone at Meta was using this thing for more than 10 minutes at a time, perhaps too busy taking it on and off to test different features that no one was actually seriously sitting there for long periods of time. This is not just my complaint. Many others have complained about this exact same issue. This is because the entire headset's weight, for the most part, rests on your fucking forehead. Unlike the Quest 2 with its full contact face cover, top strap that evenly distributes weight around your face and head, provided you have a semi-decent head strap, at least. That default head strap is. It's like using a thong to hold the thing up. The Quest Pro has 2 contact points. The forehead crushing pressure plate, the rear pad. To get this thing to stay on your head without wobbling all over the place and to make proper use of the full FOV, you gotta jack the headset up at a wonky angle on your head and crank the rear dial like Soldier Boy. It nearly forces the headset to slide up off of your head, but once you find the sweet spot, it is definitely better, yet a more awkward fit to make use of the full FOV range, suddenly making the headset look dumb as f*** on your head and causing pressure headaches, as well as causing the face and eye tracking to become inoperable, as Meta wants the headset straight on your face with a limited FOV to make use of the face and eye tracking capability, forcing you to choose between stability and FOV or face and eye tracking, which is a pretty huge problem in games that make use of the FOV-aided rendering, meaning you can clearly see the low-res areas of your vision, making the game look blurry because the eye tracking isn't working properly. Palmer Luckey, the founder of Oculus, has already mocked Meta for the removal of the top strap, stating that he had to fight to keep the top strap while he was working there. We desperately need the Quest 2 third-party accessory Avengers, AirVR, Boba VR, and Kiwi Design to save us with a solid head strap solution, because this is just dog shit. Combine this head strap with the mixed reality capability, I don't understand what the fuck Meta were thinking when marketing this to the enterprise market. As someone who, all ranting aside, just wants to see a dope Quest headset release that I can be happy about, this seems so unbelievably out of touch. This is very frustrating to me because I actually really like this headset. I know that sounds kind of crazy with everything I've just said, but let me explain. This brings me on to by far the best part of this headset for both the Quest Pro and even Quest 2 users. If you're a Quest 2 user right now, you can upgrade to the Quest Pro controllers. They're $350, so this upgrade, and it definitely is an upgrade, is entirely dependent on how much you value $350. These controllers, though, are amazing, at least to me and my chimp-shaped hands. They are the best VR controllers to date. They feel complete. They're made out of some kind of rubberized plastic that just makes you feel like you've actually spent money on a premium product. They legit feel premium. They have a slight kink in the top of the controller, giving your thumb a nice ergonomic space to sit. The haptics are great. The vibration motor has clearly been given an upgrade. The tracking is leaps and bounds better, and they feel like they can take a beating. I'm gonna leave that testing, however, up to Thrillseeker and Planerock. I don't want to attempt to destroy $350 controllers with all due respect. I don't have quite that much faith in Meta's design team, at least yet, but they are very, very nice, especially compared to the cheap, plastic-y feeling index controllers. If we could get like an in-between set of controllers between like the index design with full finger tracking and these, I think we would have a perfect VR controller design for years to come. I'll probably throw some grip straps on these once they release, especially with the improved finger tracking. However, they do come with one major problem. They don't work without Wi-Fi at all, at least seemingly from my testing, which is another just mind-boggling decision from Meta. If they truly want this headset to be used for enterprise use, these controllers really need to work without Wi-Fi. The amount of times at convention centers where the influx of people connecting to the Wi-Fi make it utterly unusable isn't uncommon. I mentioned this head strap design means the headset works great as a demo device, easily able to be handed around to as many users as possible. However, not being able to play without Wi-Fi is a serious problem in these settings, especially as this is a native headset. Being able to take the Quest 2 anywhere was a huge plus and a good selling point for the headset. Now being forced to always be connected to Wi-Fi to use these controllers when the Quest 2 controllers function without issue without Wi-Fi means many developers and businesses may end up going just with the Quest 2 like they have for the last few years to demo their games in places they can't guarantee a solid Wi-Fi connection. Dude, sorry, I've written out this script. I have a lot that I'm upset about because this thing is very close to being very good and they dropped the fucking ball, man. It is pretty exhausting, but for all the issues I've just established, it is still visually, Meta weren't f***ing around with these pancake lenses or displays. Yeah, there's some jagged edges. Yeah, you can still see pixels frustratingly easily on a $1,500 headset, but the color accuracy is so much goddamn better than the Quest 2's. The depth perception is so much better. I mean, this headset lit the love for VR back up in my heart as soon as I started playing some of my favorite VR games on this thing. By the way, at least on my unit, basically, no glare. I say on my unit because some people have reported getting like shit lenses with like glare issues, and this has unfortunately been a problem with VR headset manufacturing for a while, with some headsets getting better lenses than others, but for mine, basically no glare. It is amazing. There's still scenarios like white text on a black background where you can see a bit of glare, but it's way better than the glare on the Quest 2 and nothing in comparison to the sun in the eyes inducing index lenses. The depth perception on these displays or lenses or pancake lenses, whatever's causing it, makes things feel way more real and way more 3D. It reintroduced that sort of early honeymoon phase that I got from playing VR. You guys that have tried VR headsets likely know what I'm talking about. When you first try VR for the first time and everything feels so real that you get kind of motion sick. I got that again from the Quest Pro. I honestly never thought I'd feel that again, and it brought a huge smile to my face. It's honestly kind of crazy how much of a difference this makes. I mean, I actually flinched when pointing my fingers at my eyes. It is so much better. Plus, the wide FOV that for some godforsaken reason the default position of the headset severely limits looks great, provided you get your eyes as close to the displays as humanly possible. Again, making the face and eye tracking utterly useless. Display reasons alone, I will not be using the Quest 2 anymore for my personal use. And perhaps a bit of a controversial take here, a lot, including myself, were pretty pissed to see the lack of light blockage on this headset. I mean, you can see right through to people's eyes when they're using it. When wearing it, you can still see all of your real-life surroundings in your peripheral vision. However, this actually works way better than I thought, and I feel like kind of a moron for criticizing Meta for it to begin with. Don't get me wrong, this definitely borderline ruined some immersive games, so I'm not completely wrong with this, particularly darker horror games, but for more casual games, at least for me, works really well. See, when you play a regular flat screen game on your computer monitor, it doesn't matter too much what your surroundings are, because if you're truly immersed and focused on the game that you're playing, you completely forget about the world around you. You still have the option to take a break and look around between games, drink, eat, and check your phone like we all do when playing, like, I don't know if you're an idiot and play something like Overwatch 2, you know what I'm doing. We've done it for years with regular flat screen gaming. So instead of a full contact facepad that blocks out all of the surroundings with just darkness, letting you see what's actually around you when you want and still allowing enough of an FOV from the headset to focus on the game. Meta do include side light blockers, but I don't actually like using them. They make how limited you are in FOV so much more obvious. In fact, going back to the Quest 2 with its full light blocking makes the limited FOV so painfully obvious. I think until we have much wider FOVs on VR headsets available available. I'd really like to see more headsets adopt this sort of design and instead make full light blockers an optional add-on. It's important to note that for some of those more immersive games, you can buy a $50 light blocker for the Pro. I mean, come on, Meta. I get you're in like a bad financial position, but $50 for a bit of rubber, bruv? What do you want about? It'll be shipping at some point later this month. Obviously, I've pre-ordered it because I'm a idiot. I don't have that yet, so I can't say much on it outside of how the included side blockers work, and they connect via magnets and very easily pop on and off without issue. This all adds to like the more complete feeling design of this headset. Having properly integrated accessories and accessory add-on points like these magnetic points, it's great. I said points too many times in that sentence. I'm not very good at my job. Please subscribe. The Quest Pro. It's very clearly work in progress. A prosumer dev kit shipped with half-baked features and plenty of bugs. The first bug I encountered, games wouldn't continue downloading when on the charging dock or asleep. This was a colossal pain in the ass, and I had to keep picking up the headset every 5 minutes or so to make sure everything was still downloading. It looks like you can half fix this by changing the time it takes for the headset to go to sleep, but it really should download games while in rest mode or on the dock to begin with. The second bug I encountered was the microphone sounding like a 13-year-old's half dog-chewed microphone in the game of Black Ops 2 on the Xbox 360 in the middle of a wind tunnel.
Okay, so this is a Quest Pro mic test. But yeah, this is the mic audio. I play Pokemon Go every day. Good old Nathy banger dude from his early music career.
However, apparently this is a bug. Others testing the Quest Pro's mic have gotten much better quality and have fixed this issue by factory resetting the headset. However, I won't be testing this. I will be waiting for an actual update that fixes this because I refuse to factory reset this thing after the literal days I spent installing all of my games and waking the headset up every 5 minutes because of this dumb downloading issue. Meta, please roll out an update. Please fix the mic issue. I cannot bear to factory reset this thing. Another bug with the headset seems to have to do with the Pro's Wi-Fi connection, with the Pro dealing with issues to do with DFS channels on users' routers, causing Wi-Fi performance issues. Hopefully this will be fixed and doesn't have anything to do with like the headset on the hardware side of things, but we'll see what happens there. Finally, I'd like to half apologize to Meta here, and this is the real reason I'm wearing some absolute drip today. I appreciate that I have basically shat all over this thing for most of this video. With everything in perspective, I do actually really like this headset. It will replace my Quest 2 for personal use, but I just desperately want it to be better because it can be better. The head strap can be fixed via third-party solutions. Most of the issues I've listed can be fixed with updates, or in the case of the display discrepancies, slight changes to the production line to maintain better quality control. And I think the face tracking could still be improved to work with the headset in a wider variety of positions. I'm only ranting about these issues because I'm pretty confident, even from my idiot pigeon IQ position, that they can be fixed and should be fixed. This thing is honestly pretty close to being a really, really dope prosumer headset, but I think Meta should have been a little more genuine with their presentation of the headset. Actually should have shipped it with the features they promised, or at least more complete versions of the features they promised, and should have been more open with how they intended this device to be used rather than this weird Quest 2, Quest 3 middle child. Obviously, I'm not Zuck. I don't know their game plan here. I can only give my perspective as a monkey moron with a VR headset and a camera. So, is this an upgrade of the Quest 2? Yeah. Should you upgrade over the Quest 2? Maybe. Buying this headset is entirely dependent on how much you value $1,500. If you're an enthusiast like me, or you have the change to spare and you want to upgrade over the Quest 2 and you want to screw around with some early access features, go for it. Play the display lottery and get a peep into the future of Meta's direction. And Mark's OnlyFans. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This was a pain in the ass to make, and my editors that I have now hired have probably worked very hard on this. I hope you guys enjoyed the drip. Check out my Instagram for more drip. I have a thumbnail. Why am I talking about my drip? I have so much to do, bro. I gotta go, man.